Well, it's daytime with Aston Avery. Stephen Smith joins me, and now, as we are joined by someone who knows all about the Fear Factor, host the movie Nightmares on Sky's now, and luckily on that Sky's channel 192 Showcase TV, which is now heading into its 6th series, but to be seen to the series that aired in November last year. She presents cult movies like Night of the Living Dead, Teenagers from Outer Space, and also Carnival of Souls. And joining us right now is drag superstar Bunny Galore. So hello, Bunny.
Hello, darlings. Oh my goodness.
I got a Bunny as well, look. Evil Bunny.
Happy Easter.
I celebrate all year long. Bunny, you're looking gorgeous. Have you been working out like Adele? Because you look as though you've had a bit of a makeover there to me.
I wish. You know, look at you catching me without a stitch of makeup on at this time of morning. I don't know. I just kind of rolled out of bed like this.
Well, with that as well here, Bunny, we have to say welcome, and we're all huge fans. And what is the most terrifying experience that you have ever had?
Probably the visual of myself in the mirror about 14 minutes ago. So it is spooky season, isn't it, darling? So I haven't ever seen what I would call a ghost or anything, but I swear I was at the London Dungeon a few years ago, well, quite a few years ago now, and I swear I saw something there. I was alone in one of the exhibits, and I swear one of the dummies moved.
No.
And I've never left a room so quickly, as in like, I got out of there like lightning. And I still don't know what it was. I swear it happened.
Something. Don't they have actors in the London Dungeon now?
They do. I was alone in the area. I was working there at the time, so I was alone in that area, and there's dummies over morticians, one of the Jack the Ripper victims, cheerful, and a bit like my career. And I swear one of the dummies turned round, and there was nobody there. It wasn't a joke, but something moved. And it was it's the only time I've ever been really scared and really thought, I don't know what the answer to that is. There's no logical reason. I am going through that fire exit door really quickly.
Oh my God. Did they actually have real rats in the London Dungeon?
They did. They had, they did actually at that point. This is when it was at London Bridge.
Yeah.
And they used to have exhibit cages with them in. And they're very sweet. I mean, a lot of the staff used to go and feed them. I didn't personally, but they were the ones that were supposed to be there. But like anywhere in London, there's probably multiple. If you switch the lights out and here's something scrapping around, it's probably uninvited guest.
What puts the willies up you? What scares you?
Chance you a fine thing. Of a Tuesday. Is it Tuesday? I can't remember.
Tuesday.
It is Tuesday. Thank you. It's Tuesday, apparently. I have no idea anymore. People that don't clean their wig laces, that's what really scares me.
The wig laces?
Yes. Obviously, I don't wear wig lace. This is my real hair, obviously. I just put a small little bump piece in the top, and this is my own hair.
Similar to Adele's on the front cover of Vogue, I have got to say.
Oh,
I know you've seen Aston. Adele's on both the US Vogue and the British Vogue, looking incredible.
Doesn't she look amazing?
Yes, your hair's looking a bit like that, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. You have to think that as well, especially now that she's lost so much weight since.
Yes.
Yeah.
By the way, but I haven't really read up what that journey was. Was it a decision that she made?
Well, I think when you're worth an awful lot of money, you can hire a whole team of personal trainers, dietitians.
Well, true. Well, you still have to do the work. You still have to do it. But I think
it was just working out 3 times a day.
Yeah.
Again, what worries me, to be quite honest, because that's not something you can keep up constantly.
No.
I think when people go and crash diets, it puts them in a bad place.
Yes, I've done all those things. I've done crash diets. I've done not faddy workout things, but the trouble is with working out, and I go through stages. I did the Couch 5K earlier this year. Who knew cardio works, by the way, boys? Because it does actually work.
It does.
These secrets they've been keeping it from us all these years.
And Bunny, if I was hosting a horror night for my friends who could be listening today, what 3 movies would really scare them?
Well, I would go back through the decades slightly. So I'd start them off with Scream, the original Scream, because it's kind of funny and it kind of sets up a lot of tropes of horror. So that's 90s. I'd then go back to the 80s and I would do The Fog, the original The Fog from 1980, because that is still the film that makes me jump, and I've seen it multiple times because there's just something about the sound effects in that just literally make you jump out your skin. And then I'd go back another decade and I'd get them really spooky before bed and do the original Omen.
Oh God, the Omen's creepy.
Yeah.
I will say that to my friend. The child's horrible. The child from the Omen. You know, the old ones are really good. I was watching Netflix the other night and there was a film on, but you've seen it. There's Someone in Your House. And is that the original or is that a remake? Oh, it must be a remake. I didn't know there was an original because.
Right.
So anyway, I got 10 minutes into it and thought, oh God, this is so predictable and boring, and turned it off.
Right.
I like the old ones, like Friday the 13th and.
Yes, I think a lot of the modern ones are kind of made. Well, it's so hard to surprise people now, isn't it? It's so hard to because we've all seen so much, haven't we? I must admit, the remake of The Invisible Man last year was it 2019 or 2020? I saw it last year anyway. That made me jump a lot.
Well,
I remember watching
very
that.
frightening.
So that's quite good for a modern one, and I'm looking forward to the new Halloween movie, obviously.
Oh God, yeah, I love a good Halloween, and I love the Halloween. Getting Halloween's in is a good one, and Friday the 13th, and nice. Listen, you've brought camp to horror, haven't you? Who are your influences coming into the business and growing up, of course?
So yes, I always just, as far as me in the horror world goes, I always describe myself as Marilyn in The Monsters, the sitcom The Monsters. So you have the perky blonde surrounded by the horror. Yeah. So when rather than me dressed, I'm wearing black today because it is Halloween season, but obviously I'm very influenced by Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. That was probably my biggest sort of. That's not, but I didn't know she hosted horror films when I discovered her in the 80s. For anyone that doesn't know, Elvira is an American institution, really. Yes. And in fact, she's just come out at the age of 70. She's just come out. Congratulations, Cassandra.
I want to mention here, the 10th was National Coming Out Day.
Yes.
And Elvira came out at, 70 was it? She came out
at 70, yes. She's just released her autobiography. And the weird thing is I worked with her a few years ago at HorrorCon and interviewed her live on stage. It was probably the most exciting thing I've ever done in my career. I'd just flown in from Vegas. She'd just flown in from somewhere else. And we were literally, I was like so jet lagged, but it was the most surrealist. And she was so lovely. And I thought at the time she was with her partner, which I've now discovered it was her partner, but at the time I thought that's a really lovely relationship they've got there. And I didn't even think like that particularly because we were working, we weren't chatting like personally in that way. But she was everything you'd want, everything you'd wish for. She's incredible. And then she influenced me a lot because it's that sort of wink to the camera kind of quirkiness that I think we're kind of used to in the UK, but it's quite unusual in America, and that's why she's become so popular.
Yeah, her films I really adore as well. I mean, they're very camp and very funny.
So alongside it here, Bunny, you present Loosely Baked, which is based on Loose Women there. So if there's any of the Loose Women panel you would say you relate to, who would it be?
Oh, good question. Well, I am slightly biased. I would say Sally Lindsay, who was a Loose Women for many years. Slightly biased because she's a friend of mine, but I think because I like to think of myself as a lot of empathy. Although on Loosely Baked, I'm the anchor to the show, and the 4 other girls are like my co-stars, and they're the talkers really. If I went on Loose Women, I would be the one with empathy and quite more of the emotional one, which was Sally did so well, I think. And I wish I was as intelligent and quick-witted as Sally, but she's very charismatic.
Yeah, she's big behind the Alzheimer's Society as well.
Yes.
So I've done some work with her on that.
Yes, that's very true. My mother has Alzheimer's, actually. She's in a home at the moment. She's been in and out of hospital the last few weeks, which is super stressful. I don't know how anybody copes with that by themselves. And if you do out there, by the way, please speak to somebody and and get some relief somewhere, because I think that's extremely intense, and it's a charity I support as well.
Yeah, that's really. I actually tracked Peru, the Inca Trail, for the charity. So it was
amazing.
Oh, you would have died. My friends were all crying with laughter on the floor when I told them that I was going to be camping for 10 days. They went, "There's no room service, Stephen," but I did.
Outside. I'm not sure. Well, I mean, I don't think anyone wants to see me do. Well, wait, for a Channel 4 4-part series, I'd do it, but I'm not sure I'd. I'm not sure I'd do it for any other reasons.
I mean, I hate to say, you're dragged to the Last Supper. You're a seasoned pro, aren't you? So, what do you think of RuPaul's Drag Race? Are you finding it ageist? I mean, none of the queens seem to be over the age of 30.
No, they don't. Well, over 35 certainly.
35.
I think so. It's weird, isn't it? Because in America, you have people up to their late 40s and into like the very, very early 50s. That hasn't really been the vibe in the UK. Now, I'm not sure. Perhaps BBC Three is a youth channel, really, isn't it? It's not the main one of the. It's not BBC One and BBC Two. So I don't know if it's something to do with their remit is to appeal to a certain age bracket. I don't know. I would love to see a slightly older lady on there, obviously. I'd like to see it mixed up a bit, but I love the young ones anyway. I mean, I suppose at the end of the day, it is to find the next drag superstar, which kind of says it's someone starting out. But I would prefer to see a bigger age range. Yeah, I have to say. I might be biased there.
You imagine Mark Fleming or Missy Shufflewick going on those shows?
Let's not get ridiculous.
There seems to be a
it's
lot.
Not Jurassic Park, darling. It's not Jurassic Park. They're going to kill me for that. They're going to absolutely kill me.
So, Bunny, as well, drag has become a whole huge multi-million-pound industry today. So, for our listeners who want to go and break into doing drag acts here, how would you go about breaking into it?
Well, interesting to say. Funny enough, a lot of people have asked my advice in the last 10 years. Why they think I know what I'm doing, I don't know. It's kind of by accident, really. So I think mainly it's one of those things where now that you've got social media, you can use social media a lot. I would suggest doing a competition. There's those sort of ways in. There's various ones in London. In fact, my drag daughter, Carla Bear, won Drag Idol in 2019. Still reigning technically because there's not been one since. So she's still there. Still put it on the flyer. So yes, she's still reigning at the moment. So I think that's the best way in. It's surprising the amount of people I now see on the scene that went, oh, I've told them to do that about 5-6 years ago. Oh, that's weird. Because I think it's the best way in because you get experience, you get to see a lot, and also base yourself on something you enjoy. Try to be unique. I see a lot of girls looking the same lately. There's been a lot of lockdown drag queens come out, which is absolutely fine.
Yeah. And
you also, bless them, you're supposed to arrive ready. Instagram ready, and I'm very glad that most of my early career is cave painting, so no one's seen it. So you don't feel pressurized. You just experiment, but base yourself on something you like. I'm based on Diana Dawes and a mixture of like Bette Midler and all sorts of different people, but aesthetically it's Diana Dawes. So but whoever you want, do whatever you enjoy, and therefore other people will enjoy it too.
Absolutely. There was interesting you just saying about having a drag daughter there. Have you seen the TV series Pose?
Yes.
So do you have a drag family? Have you got a household?
In a very loose way. I mean, it's a very American thing. It's not particularly very English thing, and we kind of originally we kind of did it as a joke because I was helping her with a costume for this drag idol competition for a reveal. It's all magnets and things. So we would go, oh, you're like my drag mother. I was like, oh, ha, ha, ha. And I called Kitty Scott-Claus and Ophelia Love the grandkids. And although Ophelia absolutely floored me the other day by introducing me to her drag daughter, Liv, Laugh, Love. I hope I said that right. And she went, oh, look, this is your great grandmother. And I was like, can't breathe, shooting pains down my left arm. Oh,
I've got to ask you the latest thing that's going on. I noticed one of my friends, Julia Champion, who's been on the show, was with you last week at a drag brunch. So you're hosting drag
Yes.
brunches, are you? Tell us about them, please.
Yeah, that's really exciting, isn't it? It's I think that's the tsunami wave of drag coming into fashion again, because season 2 of UK Drag Race happened during lockdown, and now we've come out of it. We're kind of seeing that catch up with that huge explosion happening, and it happened with burlesque about 10, 15 years ago. So but I'm really surprised, because every place has drag everywhere. So even I've been caught up in the tsunami, but I'm loving the drag brunches, because I kind of quite see that.
I want to take Aston's mum to it. She'd love a drag brunch, wouldn't she, Aston?
Right. Oh, bring her.
And Aston. So where would you go to have her do it?
Well, literally throw a stone and you'll find a drag brunch on the weekend. But they're pretty much everywhere. The one I do is at the Old Compton's Brasserie, which is my actual favourite restaurant in London, in Soho. I was thinking the first time I did it a few months ago, I think, please let this go, okay? Because I won't be able to come back in. And I'm in here 97% of the time, usually under a table with a waiter, but that's another story for another day. So they're great fun though, because they're very silly. I think it's always the first sitting is very sort of demure, and everybody's and then the second one is people swinging off the lampshades, and I'm kind of in the middle singing Bruce Mega Mix.
The second one, does that include champagne? What do you get at a drag brunch?
I think there's usually a package. It depends on the venue, I think, but it's you normally have like a bottomless brunch, which is like you'd get cocktails or some sort of drink, proseccos for you pay a certain entrance fee for the artist and for drinks and things. I'm not sure about the food. So I don't actually serve the food, so I don't really know what you get.
Well, with that as well here, Bunny, as well, you went to drama school with our next guest who's going to be joining Stephen and I later on today, and that's Nicole Faraday. What was she like then?
She was exactly the same. She was exactly the same. She was a superstar then, and she's a superstar now. She's had an amazing career. I'm not saying also Bunny Galore is slightly based on her as well. That would be talk to my lawyers. But it is
drag mother.
In fact, she plays my daughter on an online soap opera we used to do on YouTube back in the old days when it was just me and a bunch of cats. We did a Crossroads pastiche, and she played my daughter Amanda Slaughter, and she was amazing. So if we must revive it someday. But now I'd have to play her daughter, obviously. She will call me.
What have you got coming on for the rest of the year?
Lots of things come up in October. I'm in York, I think next weekend. I'm doing Oktoberfest, which I can't wait for. That probably means a huge push-up bra and lederhosen and things going on. I'm looking forward to that. And then there's Halloween the weekend after, so there's lots of stuff going on. There's quite a few little bits and pieces going, which I can't talk about now, but they should, fingers crossed, they'll be exciting when they come out. But you can always check in with me on social media. My social media is The Real Bunny Galore on Instagram and Bunny Galore on Twitter.
Oh, fantastic.
Oh, without question. And Bunny, I have to say, it's an absolute pleasure to have you on today.
Having you on.
Very kind. Very, very kind. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'll bring Don along.
Yeah, come down.
Speak to you soon.
You'll be fabulous. Let's get drunk.
Bye.
Thank you, Bunny.